We are live. So welcome to another exciting episode of Grant Source Live. Today, we have one of the up and coming, the most exciting emerging social enterprises in the country. And we have the CEO, Mr. Teo Adesanya of Agbara Life on. So we're going to hear from him. He's going to tell us a little bit about his passion, his purpose, and what his company is doing to really make a worldwide impact. But before we go to that, we are going to give a shout out to our sponsors. So our two sponsors for today are GoDaddy. For those that you don't know, GoDaddy is the largest domain provider in the world, and they have a special offer for our community. They're offering our community 30% off new domains. So if you're doing that brand new gala, if you have that new product that you're about to put out, or if you just want to rebrand your website, they're offering 30% off domains. And once you get that domain, Leadpages is our second sponsor, and they help with marketing, with landing pages. If you're brand new and do not have a website, you can put an exciting landing page up, link it to that domain, and you have a web presence right away. So thank you to our sponsors. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Alan Thornton, and I am the founder and the executive director for Grant Source. And we help businesses and nonprofits simply find grants and the resources to secure them so that they can fund their projects, their passions, and their purpose without wasting a bunch of time, energy, or money. That's what we do, and we're excited to be able to do that and provide that to the world and to our community. So without further ado, let's get into our guest. So Ty, we appreciate you being on, brother. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate that, Alan.
Absolutely, absolutely. So our audience, let's talk about your projects, your passion, your purpose. But before that, we do this show because we want to show that you are a real person. Tell us where you're from, how you got started.
Yeah, so, I was born in D.C., ended up moving to Chicago and spent some of my, that's where I was in high school in Naperville.
Okay.
I went to Purdue University and graduated with a major in electrical engineering technology.
Okay.
And took my first job in Arizona at On Semiconductor. So did sales engineering there for about 5 years. I was playing a little basketball at the same time, hold
on. For those of you that don't know, he says a little basketball, and you can't see it on the screen, but Tyle's almost 7 feet tall. He's huge, y'all. He ain't a small cat, so he can play a little ball.
Yeah. I had an opportunity to go to Athens, Greece, and played in the FIBA World Championships.
Nice.
Had a D-League contract and all that, and decided to continue with my career in engineering. And so I went ahead and got my MBA. And right after I got my MBA from Arizona State with a focus in entrepreneurship, I decided to come to Silicon Valley. And that's what led me to San Jose. And I was working at Microchip for a couple of years before I decided, I'm going to go ahead and do my own thing and start my own startup at Agbara Life.
Nice.
And it came from working with startups and all types of like large hardware manufacturers over and over before I'm like, okay, I think I need to go ahead and try something out on my own.
Nice. So when did you start Agbara Life?
So it's funny, like I've been working on the product since 2011.
Okay.
Just iterating on this backpack that I had in my mind, and it was like a hobby almost. I'd come home and I'd try and talk to a couple of manufacturers in China to try and get another sample because I wanted to make more and more improvements. And over time, I got to a point where it was actually just recently in November, this past November, where the samples came out looking pretty great to me. And so, I asked a couple people, and you know, they're asking me when they can get this bag. So I was like, well, I need to start taking this a little bit more seriously. So
It's on the way, right? Yeah.
yeah, right. So I had to go, you know, I brought a couple people on board, and really started to fill out the business. And I was using a little bit of the knowledge I gained from my MBA to like apply towards the structure of the business. And I'm sure we'll talk about that when you're ready.
Good stuff. So what, and I know, tell us a little bit about your structure, because most people don't, they understand business, they understand nonprofits, but you're a little different. You're a hybrid. Tell us about information in your B Corp and what a B Corp is.
Yeah, so just to make that clear, so my company, Akbar Life, is a benefit corporation.
Okay.
And that's even separate and different than a B Corp. A B Corp is certified by a standing body, and you have to be in business for 2 years to get there. And there's an annual review that they do on not only the business and how the business is doing, but the social impact. And it's got to be a measurable social impact.
Understood.
And so what I'm doing is the benefit corporation, which is what often leads to a B Corp. But I decided that the company should start with that mentality and that drive and that mission from the very beginning. And so we also too seek to provide a positive social impact in a for-profit entity.
Yep.
Yeah. So our social impact that we're focused on is bringing STEM education to the youth in under-resourced communities. And that was inspired by myself because I knew I wanted to do engineering at an earlier age. That helped prepare me for the courses that I needed to take, how I needed to think before I even got to college. So that first day in my engineering classes, everybody around me is struggling, and I already know Boolean algebra, you know what I mean? I'm already working with transistors and working with hardware because I was afforded the opportunity to be able to like build myself in that lane, in that particular discipline before I even got to Purdue.
Okay. And for the engineers that aren't our community members and aren't on the call, explain to us what STEM is.
STEM is short for science, technology, engineering, and math.
Okay.
And it's been kind of hyped a little bit here and there, but the whole idea is for me, is to provide access to this field to a lot of us that don't really even know it exists at an early age.
Absolutely.
And by doing that, we have to recognize that there's a deficit of talent, not just for Black people, but just in general across the industry that needs these engineers, these scientists, these mathematicians. And so if a lot of our community can rally and allow for our youth to learn about these disciplines, it'll give them the power that they need to achieve a certain level of economic wealth.
Absolutely.
And for me, my family didn't have a whole lot of money growing up. But as soon as I was able to graduate, I was making $75,000 out of college. Like that was my first job. No one in my family had a corporate job before. So that was definitely very powerful for me, powerful for my family, powerful for my siblings. My sister ended up going to Purdue as well. She's doing her thing, with Deloitte. So it's like those types of things, it doesn't necessarily have to be a STEM like core that'll help you get out, but I just see that has the greatest opportunity for somebody to be able to achieve a job that's very needed in the industry. So,
and that's noble, helping them at a young age, because you're working all the way down to the elementary school student with those who may not be able to be in a magnet school, but still getting access, correct?
Yeah, I mean, and you got to think like a lot of these parents of wealthy families, they have kids are coding now at like 3-4 years old.
Yep.
The whole landscape has changed.
Mm-hmm.
We have to get out of that mentality of like, oh, you need to be like a certain age to like understand. No, like you can learn coding as early as 2 to 3. As soon as you're learning ABCs, you're learning the basics of Python. Like it's seriously that now, and we have to get with the time and try and stay on top of things. And I want to make sure that we give our children that opportunity early, and earlier than later. It's helpful.
That's incredible, man.
Yeah.
So tell us about your team. How big is your team? I know you guys started last year. You've been working on the product for a while, but tell us about your team. And
yeah, so I have a team of 6 right now.
nice.
It's 3 of us co-founders. Dolores Brown is my co-founder, as well as D'Angelo Wisdom. She runs the creative direction, and D'Angelo has a background in supply chain, so he's like our director of operations, does a supply chain and logistics. And we also have the young prodigy, Cervantes Antonio. He's from Arizona. When I was down there, I was able to mentor him a little bit, and he wanted to join the team. So he does a lot of the IG live that's probably going on right now, and some of the stories and all our social media accounts. And then we have 2 folks in Arizona that are still down there full time, and they work part time, but they help a lot with the trade shows. So I'm going to South by Southwest I leave tonight to go to Austin.
Nice.
When we get there, they'll be helping out with the booth and the messaging and talking to customers and getting the message out there. So, and that's Demery Lashi and Tyler Williams. So we're pretty. I guess we have a few more bodies than most startups do at this early stage, but I'm full time now, so I got no choice but to get it right. And Cervantes is full time with me here too. So everybody else, I mean, we're not even at a stage to be able to draw a salary, even though we have revenue now. So I have to like do the best with what we have, and everybody pitching in is helpful to get to that goal, of achieving them nice returns.
And I had an opportunity. I was blessed to be able to be in Palo Alto for Startup Grind and meet your team. So I have a face to some of those names that you just.
Yeah, man, that was a blessing. It was a blessing to go to that. I didn't know the magnitude of that event, Startup Grind, the global conference, but it was an honor to be selected.
Show them your hat.
Oh yeah,
there you go. Yeah, right there. Yeah, can't let that go. Yeah, that event was incredible, and you guys were featured there.
Yeah,
one of the exhibitors.
I think I got one of the joints here. Yeah, they featured us in the Startup Grind
nice.
conference, so it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to be able to go there, but really the network is great, and that's one thing I like to let other people know. When you have a business, you can't be scared to be out there talking about it. And I know a lot of us want to protect our IP and our secret sauce or whatnot, but one of the first things I learned when I moved to the Bay is that like everybody talks about what they're working on, and it's not because they have a fear of someone stealing their idea. It's because they're confident to know that even if somebody had the audacity to do something like that, they would never catch them because you're so focused on what your craft is, and you're already going to make the waves that you need to make, right? And so going to a place like Startup Grind and sharing ideas and making those connections was very powerful, and we like to continue to do that. And that actually led to me being able to speak this Saturday on my birthday at South by Southwest. So you never know what lies at those kinds of events.
Well, happy upcoming birthday, man, before it happens. And you guys are doing some incredible things. You got make an incredible impact. Tell us, what's your end goal, and what kind of impact? I know you're a startup, but what kind of impact have you made thus far, and what kind of impact do you hope to make?
Honestly, I want to redefine how customers think about the products that they buy.
Okay.
Really think about the value that they get from the product, not only from intrinsic, like what the stuff you get, but how that company leaves an impact on society. So
Okay.
we chose to be a benefit corporation because we want to do more good to the society and the environment than harm, right? And we also want to provide a utility to the customer that when they get this product, they can use it. They can truly use it and get a high level of functionality from it. And so in the future, we're doing more than backpacks. We're going to go in a lot of other apparel, possibly some other hardware or jewelry, maybe. It's endless. There's a wide range of things that we can do, but the one thing we'll always try and do is incorporate technology when it comes to our products. And I'm hardware focused, so if it doesn't turn on, I might not really jive with it. So but that's just because it's a challenge to me, and I like that challenge. Being able to marry fashion and technology is I don't think it's something that's been done intentionally for the audience that we want to provide it for. So that's the hole that we're trying to fill in the market. So,
and you guys are actually doing all three, right? Fashion, technology, and a social impact, right? At the same time. And we didn't really talk about that. Tell it, you're running a campaign right now. Tell us about your campaign and also a little bit about that first product that you have out that's flying off the shelves right now.
Yeah. We have
and I want to show it. Let me go ahead.
We have two different types of backpacks. One is we call it our day pack, and then we have another cinch pack. And the differences between the day pack and the cinch pack is the cinch pack has two buckles that you can unhook, and it'll expand up to 20% more. So that's more so geared towards our travelers, and the day pack is more geared towards our commuters. But the whole idea behind the backpacks is to have a highly functional design where it's been constructed to allow for you to get through TSA checkpoint when you're at the airport, for instance, without having to take your laptop out. It's a feature a lot of our customers really like. And then when you think about backpacks in general that are supposedly tech-driven, you have to be able to protect them as well. So when you're out and about and you get caught in the rain, like how many people are putting their backpacks underneath their coats or whatever. So what we've done is, so this, for instance, is our day pack, right? Kind of a normal style of backpack that you normally see, but the mechanism I'm talking about is right underneath the bottom here. It's a rain fly, and it's branded. It comes with our logo, and it fits. It's custom fitted to every bag, so every bag has one of those, and that allows you to be out in the craziest of weather and be able to protect your contents. And then, you know, from the style and the material that we chose, everything was every decision was made intentionally. So that's why it took me 6-7 years to make. I had, from the stitching to every pocket, even the very back pocket that, you know, some people, they just dump a bunch of stuff in. We try to allow for it to be an organizer. You know, put your cards here, you can put makeup in certain pockets, change. We try to really think about the customer and their needs while making this backpack. And so one of the major features, of course, is being able to charge your cell phone or possibly your laptop. Nice. That kind of separates us from other tech bags as well, because being able to charge a laptop that has, you know, right around 18,000 milliamp hours of battery power is not an easy feat from any engineering standards. So, but we've been able to work with a partner, and that's why we have this 26,500 milliamp hour battery here. And it has the 3 ports here, 2 USB ports and 1 Type-C port. that Type-C port is what actually can power the latest MacBook Pro. And we went with such a high capacity battery because it's a pound, so it's kind of heavy. You don't want to carry it in your pocket, but since it's going to be sitting in a backpack, you rarely feel it, right? And so now the user can get through their day, not only get through their day by charging their phone when it typically starts to die around 2, 3 o'clock, but I can get through an entire week. So now, like, for instance, I'm getting ready to go to Austin. I'll leave tonight. I am not bringing a wall charger with me. I'm only going to have that. And that's going to last me all the way through next week because I can get around 10 charges on one battery source. And I have a couple of these on me. So that just talks to the utility you can get from the bag and how it can allow you to be out there and free without.
And you guys, so tell us about your IndieGo.
So I started an IndieGo campaign a little over 30 days ago, and we achieved our goal around 3 weeks in. So very excited about that. That's something that, you know, we just wanted to test the market out and see what the response would be. Didn't have very much money. And for all you guys out there, it doesn't take a whole ton of money to start. But we bootstrapped and we worked with a couple $100s in Facebook ads. And before you know it, we're at over $20,000 in sales. So
incredible.
The traction is there and customers are responding.
And I want to show, and you have an offer for the community. Some of the same things that you're offering the IndieGo account personnel, you're also offering our community. So I want to show that.
Sure.
Can everybody see my screen? Should be able to. All right. So if you go into our app, and as you can see, we have our new version out that tracks everything from your saved grants all the way to the point where you receive it. If you go into our community offer section, it's similar to Groupon, but business to business, right? We'll type in just the first 2 words. We should be right there. There we go. I wasn't. And while I'm typing this in, tell us what Akbar means, Tayo, because it has a special meaning.
And it means I'm getting a little bit of feedback. I'm not sure. Yeah, so Akbar is Nigerian. And so depending on how you use it in a sentence, you can say that somebody is strong, capable. Depending on how you use it in Yoruba.
Nice. So everything has meaning. Every single portion of your bag has meaning. The name has meaning. He's not only marrying technology, he's also creating a social impact. And right here in the app, you can redeem that offer. It'll go straight to his IndieGo page, and you can get some of those same offers that everybody else in the Akbar Nation is getting. So we appreciate that. And what we're all about on this show is helping you. So you tell me, first and foremost, I know I usually ask, how do you come to Grant Source? But we met in person. Yeah. But tell us, what do you like about Grant Source and how do you see it helping you in the future?
Yeah, honestly, I love the information you guys are giving. That knowledge center is brilliant. And then the fact that I can ask questions to the community and anybody can answer, including yourself, is amazing, because I feel like that's an area that not a lot of people understand. I'm actually the founder of the Bay Area Urban Young Professionals. So I run a nonprofit as well, and getting funding for some of the community work that we want to do is not easy. And writing grants, not my forte. So, being able to use you guys' app to navigate on how to put a proposal together, how to write that statement or that ask statement, it's powerful. It's powerful. I think it'll help a lot of people like myself that are just trying to do good in the community, prepare themselves to get their organization in order, to be able to make that ask solid so that they can have a better chance at achieving that, and then therein giving back to the community. So I appreciate the work you do, brother.
No, we appreciate you. And lastly, I know you're looking for, everybody comes to Grant Source for different reasons. One is they're looking for grants, right? Money's not the most important thing, but it ranks right up there with oxygen. It is, you need it to survive. But what else can our community help you with? Are you looking for volunteers? Are you looking for, you tell us, and I mean, we have thousands of members in our community across the country. How can we help?
Yeah, well, it's funny you ask. I mean, it's funny that we're talking about this now. I'm just now moving into a different phase with the company where we're preparing to do a fundraising round. So
okay, nice.
For people that possibly want to invest, please feel free to reach out to us. Our email address is info@ekbaralife.com. There's opportunities to assist by really just getting the message out. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and we're all at the same. We have the same username. It's just Ekbar Life, so you can find us on any of those platforms.
And if you look in real quick, if you guys look in the community, you can find them. They have a community listing in the community, and you can even message them right through the app.
Absolutely. And we want to make sure it's a relationship. We're just not only here to sell stuff. We want to improve what we're doing. And so anytime you feel like there's some suggestions that you want to make, some improvements that you would want us to make, feel free to reach out to us. But at the same time, please just share with your family, share with your friends. We're just trying to build.
Excellent. And if you can, leave our audience, we're wrapping up here, with one final thought, final tip that has helped you get to where you've got.
Honestly, for me, I have a fairly unique route to where I've gotten to, but at the end of the day, people have that one thing that they want to do, and they've been talking about it for years. I think there's a point in time where you need to sit down, write your business plan, and it doesn't have to be super long. It can be just something where you're understanding what the problem is, you're understanding what kind of solution you can provide, and what it'll take to get there. And I think a lot of us sell ourselves short on being able to provide that solution and use that as a business. So it just takes getting off your ass. And that's my 2 cents to everybody, man. Just get off your ass and get going on whatever your passion is, whatever is going to drive you and get you out of bed.
Excellent. Well, we appreciate you being on the show. We're totally grateful for your presence and what you're doing in the community, because it's incredible to have not only it's hard to make a product, right? And you have a physical product, and I look forward to getting my back as well. And you guys are doing great things in the community with STEM, and there's a social impact, and you're donating back to the community. That's what we're all about. So we're wrapping up here. I want to thank our sponsors, Leadpages. I want to thank GoDaddy. Definitely want to thank Teo for being with us. And I'll leave everybody with this. Remember, it's not about the money. It's all about the impact. We'll see you on our next episode of Grant Source Live. Have a blessed day.